All right, here we are. First episode, Red Poets Podcast. I go by the name of Tony Butler, a.k.a. Twin City Tone. I'm in here with...
Tall Paul. Hey, what's good?
That's right. So I figured for the first episode, Paul, we just kind of talk about maybe Red Poet Society, how we started working together originally, and how kind of everything came into play.
Yeah.
So I think I first met you, this was probably like 2009, and I was recording in a studio that was on Lake Calhoun. I don't know if you remember this, but it was in a house in a basement on Lake Calhoun.
I do kind of roughly remember.
Yeah.
So,
I had like a late night session, and there was another artist actually who was coming through. I was working on a mixtape at the time.
Yeah, I remember somebody rapping, somebody doing something down there.
Yep. So they were coming through to get on one of my songs, and then he had brought you with, and then that's the first time I met you. And then I don't think I saw you. I mean, I saw you around, but like we didn't do any work. But then the first song we worked together on was we shot that video for, I don't remember the
Conviction.
name of the song. Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And that was the first time. So we did the video shoot there in Minneapolis, and that was probably like 2012, I believe.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
2012 or so. Shout out to everybody that was on that track. That goes hard. I think it's still up there.
I think so too. Yeah. What's funny is I recorded my verse for that, 2011, so it would have probably been a year before it dropped. But I was just over at G Malicious, right?
Yeah.
I was at his studio with another artist, and he was like, "Man, I got this beat. You just want to spit a freestyle on it or something?" So I just pulled the verse out.
Yeah.
Of my out of my head, and I was like, all right, I'll spit something on it. It was just like a 16. I didn't know he was going to do anything with it,
right.
And then a year later, he's like, yeah, we're actually going to shoot a video for that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that's how that came to play. But yeah, so that was the first song we worked on together. And then I had wanted to do this group project, and I was trying to come up with names for a group, and I don't know, one day I just came up with Red Poet Society. It sounded dope to me. I liked the way it sounded, so I was like, I'm gonna run with that. And there was actually another artist that I was gonna work on this project with, but that didn't end up working out. So I still wanted to do the project. I still had the idea, and then I don't remember how I approached you, or like I don't even remember how we ended up like connecting on that. Maybe I just called you or I texted you one day.
Yeah, it was probably a text or something. I don't remember the specifics, but because at that point we had ran into each other at the studio a few times over at DJ D Mills.
That's right, yeah.
And, started getting reacquainted and stuff. So, I think it came up sometime around then, just back in like 2017 or so, right?
Yep.
Maybe 2016, something like that.
Yeah, it would have been, because I think we dropped our EP in 2018, right?
I think so, roughly, yeah.
Yeah, I think it dropped in 2018. So we probably started working on it in like 2017. But I know there were like a few songs that I had brought you into the studio to record features on for my stuff. And that was probably around 2016.
Yeah.
Because I remember, that was like during the Go Radio days.
It's crazy to think. Yeah, it's been like close to a decade. It's
wow.
It's wild, man. Time flies.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, and over the years, like, you've brought me out at shows. I remember when the Super Bowl was here. You remember that? Like, that was fun.
Yeah, that was dope.
That was, what venue was that?
Honestly, it's slipping my mind right now.
I know it's not around anymore, but like, that was a cool venue. I like that place.
Yeah.
And I remember it was a sold out show. It was packed in there. You remember that?
Man, it's kind of like.
You don't remember? It was during Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
Or Super Bowl week, at least.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, I'm going to keep it real. I don't even remember. I'm trying to think of it. I mean, I've done so many. I'm sure we've both done so many shows. That one's not ringing a bell at the moment. Yeah. I mean, there's a few that come to mind. I can't say which.
It was fun, bro. Like, the crowd, it was a sold out show. I still remember looking, and the stage was really high.
Was this maybe the one when we opened for that DJ group, the Native DJ group? Was that the one?
That might have been it. It might have been it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they used to go by a Tribe Called Red.
Yep.
Now they go by, I think, the Hallucination.
Yep. Yeah. It was that. It was
okay,
that.
All right, that was the one. All right. Yeah, I didn't recollect that being during the Super Bowl week.
Yeah, I believe it was. That was a fun show. Maybe it wasn't during Super Bowl week, but I feel like it was around that time.
It might have been. Yeah, I'm not saying you wrong. I just don't remember.
Yeah.
But that was a good one for sure. Like, it was packed out, big stage. I like that.
Yep. Yeah. No, that was fun, and over the years we've definitely done a good number of shows. You had that show at 7th Street Entry, First Avenue, and they did actually like a little documentary series on that.
Yeah.
What was that called? The series. What was the series called?
I think it was called Stage. It was right. By Twin Cities PBS.
Yep.
TPT.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah, that was cool. That was different, having like a live show aired live and then aired on TV and all that. That was cool.
Yeah, and they had so many cameras in there.
Yeah, it was crazy. I know they said that the camera guy and like the overall crew that was doing all the lighting and everything, like they work with like Hugh Jacks and stuff, and national tours and all that. So it was big. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So I had you on my podcast a long time ago. This was probably like 2016 as well, when I had the Twin City Tone podcast. But that was actually one of the more popular episodes, is when I had you on there and interviewed you. So for the people who don't know, maybe just talk a little bit about like how you got into music and how you got started.
Yeah. So it all started back in like probably 2003 or something. Just as maybe even before that, if I'm really taking it back to the roots. I started writing raps when I was about 13, 14 or something, early 2000s. And from there, it transitioned into like freestyling for the homies. And it was just always a hobby. But I was inspired by, some artists around me who my brothers were cool with, and also watching BET, MTV, things like that. So I started writing raps. Didn't know how to count bars, didn't write to beats or anything like that. I was just writing and rhyming. And that process of doing that for so many years created like a natural ability to rap when it came to actually doing it on beats and creating records. Like when I started out, I felt like it was almost like riding a bike. But I got into that process just, making music. And then I had people saying like, well, you can't just be a MySpace rapper. This is back in the MySpace days and stuff. Like, you got to get on stage and everything. So I got on stage, started doing open mics all over the city.
Do you remember your first show?
I remember my very first open mic.
Yeah, what was it?
I don't remember my first show actually.
What was that like when you got on that stage for the open mic?
The open mic,
Blue Nile?
It was at Voices Merging. I think they might still do it. I don't know, but this was a long time ago at the U of M. It was like a student-ran open mic at the University
do remember
of
that.
Minnesota.
I remember that. Yep.
They had a huge open mic there. There'd be like 200-300 students up in there, or just whoever, and signed up for that. I don't know why I did that for my first one, but
were you nervous?
Oh yeah, I was definitely nervous. I remember sitting in there, signed up, and I'm not somebody who's like, at least at the time, definitely not at the time, I wasn't somebody who's like out there talking on stages and like really, sociable like that, not anti-sociable. It just wasn't my thing, So when I signed up for that and I got in there, I was like, damn, it's kind of packed in here. Like, it's crazy. I got nervous for sure. But, I got on stage and I did my thing, and the crowd showed love and everything. And after that, it was like, okay, I got this. It's not as big as you make it out to be in your head before you do something for the first time. That was a big moment there. And just apply that to anything in life, you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
But yeah, it started out like that. Open mics, Voices Merging, Blue Nile, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That was always dope. The Blue Nile was one of my favorite open mics because you would go in there, you can't use your beats, you just gotta
the live band.
Yeah, you gotta rap to the live band. That was cold. I missed that, but yeah. So open mics and then shows, and then next thing you know, I had a record or two kind of go viral and started getting booked outside of the state. I think my first outside of state or out of this region gig was out in Cali. Okay. It was at San Luis Obispo, the college up there. But from there it just kind of slowly turned into this snowball effect of just getting more and more shows and getting out there more and more. And I remember doing that thing with G Malicious, Point of Contact.
Yeah.
But I wanted to kind of venture out on my own and do some solo stuff, and build up my solo career too. And that's kind of how it happened, made that transition, I think around like 2015, 2014 or so, like something like that. And then we started doing our thing, like you said, 2016 or so.
Yeah.
And just staying with it now.
Yep. How did you and G Malicious start working together and form that group?
We actually met over South Minneapolis at the Indian Center there.
Okay.
We were both at the Indian Center there sometimes. just doing community stuff, you know what I mean? Just being in the community, the native community. So we connected there. That's how we met. And then he mentioned that he was a rapper and everything, and that he did engineering, mixing, and all that.
Yeah.
So that was cool. You know, I went out to his crib, and he was kind of teaching me how to mix and record myself and all that kind of stuff. I learned a little bit of that before, but I wasn't super well versed. But anyway, yeah, we just started making music together. It was natural progression, you know, met at the Indian Center and started making music and said, might as well do some shows, right?
Yeah. You remember when now that you said the Indian Center, we performed that joint at the Indian Center? You remember that?
Yep.
That was a good show.
Yeah, that was cool. The only thing, man, the Indian Center, I don't know how it is now, but the acoustics of that big gym, it will kind of get lost in there.
Yeah.
I know that's why we eventually moved it, but yeah, that was an event called Cold Flows for Warm Clothes.
That's
I remember
right.
We did like a fundraiser and also like a winter coat donation drive with that event, and it was dope. Yeah, I think I still got one of those posters framed and signed by all the artists and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was cool. I know we did that like 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
I think we moved it to the Cedar for the last year, but yeah, first year or two was at the Indian Center. That was live, you know, being able to perform that joint Conviction.
Yeah.
And actually have everybody there. That was cool. That was cool.
Yeah. Okay, so you were in Point of Contact, then you said you wanted to venture off and start doing more solo stuff.
Yeah.
You know, which you did. And then, you know, you mentioned your first booking out in Cali. What was that like when you first, like, how did that feel? Because, like, to go from just performing locally and now it's like somebody's actually paying you to come out to California at that, buying your plane ticket, paying you to perform.
Yep. It felt good. You know, it felt somewhat surreal. It's just like, it's hard to take in. It's hard to process as it's happening, you know, because you're kind of in disbelief. But at the same time, you believed it could happen. So, yeah, when they reached out to me, and I had done, you know, regional shows like Wisconsin, you know, North Dakota, whatever. I've done shows in the area, but I never got far away from Minnesota, and that was my first time far away from Minnesota, and that felt good, you know, just like, oh, wow, they paying for my flight, they helping me out on the food, covering my hotel.
Right.
And then on top of that, they're paying me to perform and, you know, come kick it with their student union group and all of that. Went out to eat and everything. That was dope, man. It was a dope experience, and I would say it was an eye-opening experience. It taught me more about my value as an artist. Taught me how to recalibrate my value as I progressed throughout my career. You know, understanding where I'm at in my career. Not to compare myself to others or anything, but in relation to the market and everything, it's like okay. You start doing more shows outside of the state and you get your notoriety out there, then you deserve to charge a higher rate for your, you know, for your presence, you know, and I still stand on that to this day, you know, because a lot of times, you know, people treat you like you're just a local artist or whatever, and I don't believe in that, you know. I think even artists who ain't getting out of the state yet got national act type talent if they have that drive to match it, right? So that can all be developed, but it was a surreal experience. Getting out of state for the first time, and then just more opportunities started coming from that. And, you know, shout out to all the publications and everybody who kind of helped put me on that platform, you know, because without, you know, the media and the people at the shows and everything, I would have never got to that point and to this point, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, speaking of out-of-state stuff, so you and I were actually, we were recently down there in New Mexico. And that was fun. That was a good time. And then before that, this past summer, we were in Nebraska for the Crossroads Music Festival. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to Eric and everybody who put that together. That was fun. Good time. We're going to be back there summer 2025 as well. And then sounds like we might be taking the act overseas. I'm hoping so. It's possible. You know, Eric was saying that, you know, we might do some gigs overseas. So I'm excited for that. You know? You know, Eric's a cool dude, you know. I'm excited at the possibilities for that. Definitely.
For sure.
Now, you toured a little bit in Germany, too, correct?
Yeah. There was this music festival they had called Fuego de la Isla, I believe. Out in Germany. It's kind of crazy, but at his music festival out there, it was dope. I actually went out there to do that music festival, but also to do like a 2-week hip-hop workshop with some youth. So me and Frank Wan, he's an artist from, I believe, North or South Dakota. I think he's out in Chicago now. last I recall anyway. We went out there and we worked with this youth group in this community center. And the community center was dope, man. Like, it was graffiti all over the place. It wasn't like I don't want to say it wasn't well put together, but it was made for that kind of vibe, like that hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, just doing things like that. So we were in there teaching these kids how to write raps, teaching them how to record themselves, how to make beats, mix, everything like that.
Yeah.
And we did that for 2 weeks, and it culminated in a group song that these kids did.
Yeah.
They're like high schoolers, and they made this song, and it's wild. I guess, you know, racism is prevalent in Germany, which I can imagine, you know, but these kids started talking about that on their own, you know, while we're talking out there. They're like, yeah, our parents and stuff, they got like, you know, they have some prejudice, and we're trying to, you know, break away from that, stuff like that. And they just started talking about that as the topic that they wanted to write about. I'm like, okay, I mean, that'll be cool. I mean, you know, look forward to seeing how it comes out. But anyway, it culminated in a song, and it was basically like an anti-racism song. And they performed that song at the music festival at the end of those 2 weeks in front of all of their parents and everything.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like,
wow.
Like, I wasn't expecting nothing like that, but that's what they decided to do. And we told them, you know, like, we ain't here to constrict your ability to write about what you want to write about. If you want to, you know, I mean, I ain't even going to tell you not to swear or anything like that.
Yeah.
There are certain things, you know, we ain't going to allow, you know, some out of line type stuff. But for the most part, you know, freedom of expression, we encouraged that with the youth there, and that's what they wanted to write about. So they made this big posse cut, performed it at the end of the week at that festival, and it was cool. I could sense some tension in the crowd when they were performing. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But yeah, the festival was cool though, man. It was in this town, I think, that used to be named after Karl Marx. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah.
There's a town there called named after Karl Marx at some point, but it's named something else now anyway. But the festival was there in Germany, and it was packed. It was like, I'd say it was probably 1,000 or more people there, just in kind of like this Central Park type location.
Yeah.
It's like in the middle of the city type park. And yeah, it was packed. Rocked it out there. Had one of the youth actually get on stage and beatbox for me during my performance, so that was cool.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
That was an experience for sure.
Was that an all hip hop festival, or was it different genres?
No, it was different genres.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all different genres. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the Crossroads Music Festival we were in, because we were like the only hip hop act in there.
Yeah, kind of like Crossroads. Similar.
Okay.
I don't recall all the acts from the one in Germany, but yeah, it was definitely kind of like more of an eclectic vibe, you know. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
It was cool.
What about music you're working on right now?
Music I'm working right now.
Because those beats you played me down in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yeah,
music I'm working on right now. I'm just trying to drop singles, you know what I mean? Just that's kind of the approach I'm taking this year, I think. I think I'm gonna try to drop an album at the end of the year.
Okay.
That's what I'm shooting for. An album, I ain't gonna say too much about that, but shooting for an album at the end of the year. But other than that, just kind of showering the world with some singles, you know. And actually just put one out recently called Rap Game Jim Thorpe. And I've been dropping them about once a week so far this year. We'll see if I can keep that up.
Yeah.
I think I can. You know, just gotta stay busy.
Yep.
But yeah, just making music that I'm vibing with. Like you said, finding the beat selection, whatever inspires me. Make a song about what comes to mind.
Yeah.
Really, my focus this year is to accumulate a little bit of a discography, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Just more of a collection of songs and getting it out there more, you know.
Yeah, that once a week, I was doing that. I tried to do it for a year last year.
Yeah.
And I made it I started actually in December, but then I made it all the way until like August, I think. And then I fell off. That's a lot, bro. I got burnt out.
Oh, no,
You know
I bet.
Yeah.
I can imagine. No,
Yeah,
it's definitely not easy. Like, for anybody who don't know it, they don't know what goes into that, you know? It's like, it's the writing, the mixing, the mastering. If you want to touch something up, you got to go back to the studio. Like, it's a lot that goes into it.
and then it's the artwork.
It's
all of that. So
Yep.
yeah, but no, that's good, man. Just flood the market, get your music out there.
Yeah, just trying to accumulate tracks, you know, because I know you gave me that analogy, or you told me something you heard about you know, thinking of your songs almost like real estate, like you're trying to build your digital music footprint.
Yeah.
And each room is each song is its own room inside the apartment building or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to generate rent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I heard that from in a Sauce Walker interview.
Dope.
But yeah, no, it's digital assets. That's what it is.
Yep,
so, and everybody has been hitting me up. I am gonna drop some more music. It's on the way. But I had to just fall back for a little while because doing a song a week for almost a year is a lot. So I fell back, and we got Red Poet stuff coming too. Don't worry, it's on the way.
So you made it like 9 months though, right?
I did.
That's what's up.
I did.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And you said after 9 months you were just like, all right, I'm
I
done.
just
Like,
man, yeah, I got behind. You know what? It threw me off when we went to Nebraska when we were gone for like that week.
Yeah.
That kind of threw me off.
Yep.
And then when I got back, I doubled up and I dropped like 2 songs to make up for that week I lost. But then I was like, I just felt like I was always behind. And yeah, it just got to be a lot, man. And then it was like I wasn't feeling inspired. I didn't like the beats that I had anymore. And
yeah, better not to force it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it'll come back.
No, I feel it.
Get back in there, but we got some stuff that we got in the works.
Right.
We got to put out. We can shoot some.
I know we were dropping a song a month. I mean, it's been a few months now, but we dropped a song a month for a whole year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yes, we'll get back on that. Right. Yep. Right. All right. Well, I think this is a good introduction. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
Not off the top of my head, no. Just touch base with Red Poets this year. We'll be making some more music and some more podcasts. So.
That's right. Yeah. So stay tuned. Red Poets Society for the music. Red Poets Podcast right here for the podcast. And next episode we got special guests coming up. So make sure you check that out. Peace.
Yeah. Peace.